You know that feeling when you have a really brilliant idea and then it just goes completely catastrophically wrong? Well, we're about to dive into the final chaotic chapter of a classic story, Five Children and It, where a single, well-intentioned wish spirals into what is basically a full-blown Victorian jewel heist. So just imagine for a second. It's the last day you have access to some kind of magical power, and you decide you're going to use it for something genuinely good, right? A selfless act to make someone you love really happy. I mean, it's the perfect plan. Or is it? What is that perfect plan? Suddenly landed you right in the middle of a police investigation. And not only that, but an innocent man gets implicated. And you're stuck trying to hide a secret so unbelievable it could get you locked away for good. Yeah, that's exactly what happens to our five young heroes. Okay, so here's the setup. It's the very last day the children can get a wish from their grumpy ancient sand fairy, the Psammead. And to make things even better, their mother is finally coming home. They decide, you know what, today's wish has to be something wonderful, just for her. A perfect, totally selfless last wish. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, here's what goes wrong. At breakfast, the kids hear the news about this huge burglary that happened nearby. A Lady Chittenden has lost all her jewels, apparently worth thousands of pounds. And here's a great little detail that shows just how out of their depth they are. They overhear someone talking about a river of diamonds, which is actually a Riviera necklace, and a tarer, which is their mishearing of tiara. So, as they're all talking about how their own mother has so few jewels compared to this rich lady, little Jane has this lovely daydreamy thought. Wouldn't it just be wonderful if their mother, who deserves everything, could be the one to find all of those beautiful stolen treasures? It's just a sweet, innocent little fantasy. And with those four simple words, boom, the wish is made. The Psammead's magic, which now activates the very moment a wish is spoken, kicks in instantly, and the disaster officially begins. So this one little wish very quickly snowballs into an absolute catastrophe. And the jewels don't just appear in a nice, convenient pile somewhere. Oh, no. That would be far too easy. All of a sudden, Lady Chittenden's stolen diamonds are just scattered all over their mother's bedroom. And what makes it worse? The Psammead is nowhere to be found, so they can't just undo the wish. They are completely and totally stuck. They're in possession of stolen goods, and the actual truth of how they got them is, well, literally unbelievable. So this leaves them with this impossible choice. On one side, you have the fantastical, absolutely bonkers truth. A grumpy, wish-granting sand fairy did it. And on the other side, you have their very real turn-of-the-century fear. They'll be called maniacs and shipped off to a terrifying place called Bedlam. Now, you have to understand, for a kid in 1902, Bedlam wasn't just a word for chaos, it was the nickname for a real asylum. And in the popular imagination of the time, it was a place of pure horror. We're talking padded walls, iron bars, the whole nine yards. This wasn't just a fear of getting in trouble. This was a deep, genuine fear of being locked away and branded as insane. And right when their panic is at its absolute peak, guess who arrives home? Their mother. They try to stop her from going to her room, making up all these excuses, but of course, she just brushes past them, totally eager to finally settle in. Can you imagine her confusion turning to horror? First, she finds this stunning ring, and she thinks, oh, what a lovely gift from my husband. Then, she finds a priceless necklace in a drawer, then a tiara. As more and more jewels pop up, she connects them to the burglary she heard about. And when the maid mentions that the local gamekeeper, a guy named Beale, was in that very room helping to clean the windows, bam! An innocent man is suddenly the prime suspect. And Mother, of course, decides she has to go get the police immediately. Okay, the situation is completely out of control. An innocent man is about to get arrested. Their family home is basically a crime scene, and it's all their fault. The kids are absolutely desperate. Their only hope is to find the Psammead and somehow fix this mess. They do find it, but let me tell you, the Psammead is not happy. It actually confesses that it hates granting wishes. The physical act of puffing itself up is exhausting and apparently pretty scary. It's genuinely worried it's going to strain a muscle. This is not some joyful genie, it's an overworked, terrified, magical creature. So Anthea strikes a deal. If the Psammead helps them right now, they will never, ever ask for another wish again. The Sand Fairy is so relieved it agrees, and Anthea just unleashes this rapid-fire series of wishes to clean everything up. 1. Make it so the jewels were never lost in the first place. 2. Stop their mother from getting to the police. And 3, this is the brilliant part, make her forget the entire incident ever happened. But wait, before they part ways forever, the Psammead has one wish of its own. It asks the children to make a wish for it on its behalf. It wants them to wish that they can never tell any grown-ups about it. And its reasoning is just fascinating. The Psammead isn't afraid of being dissected by scientists or anything like that. It's afraid of being bored to death. It argues that grown-ups wouldn't wish for fun, temporary stuff. They'd wish for serious, permanent, dull social reforms, like a graduated income tax and old-age pensions, and that would turn the whole world topsy-turvy and not in a fun way at all. So after granting the Psammead's request, the children say their goodbyes. And just as a final heartfelt thought, they say, "I hope we shall see you again someday." And the Psammead, hearing this as a wish, grants it, and then it disappears into the sand for the last time. At least in this story. So, what does all this chaos actually teach us? Well, this story is a perfect example of a really old idea in literature, the wish gone wrong trope. And what's really interesting is that this book came out in 1902, the very same year as that famous horror story, The Monkey's Paw. Both are about wishes going terribly wrong, but their tones could not be more different. The Monkey's Paw is just pure horror. Wishes lead to irreversible tragedy. But here, the author turns that same idea into a comedic adventure. Yeah, the problems are huge, but they're always temporary, and the main thing is that a lesson is always learned. So, the crucial point of this, and pretty much every wish gone wrong story, is this powerful warning. You have to be careful what you wish for, because getting the literal thing you asked for might be completely different from getting the outcome you truly wanted or needed. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question for you. Knowing that even the best intentions can go totally sideways, and that words can have massive unintended consequences. If you had one wish, just one, what would it be?